Many local governments are finding that partnerships are essential to the success of the implementation of green initiatives. Collaboration between the public and private sectors helps to alleviate some of the problems cities are facing due to lack of resources and capital.
First, we have to recognize we have a common goal, whether we're private citizens and the private sector or public sector leaders. And that common goal is a strong economy and jobs that help all of us in our communities to thrive and survive. There is so much more we can do to stay strong in a global market. As a state, we have to be able to compete with other states, let alone other nations. And that means policies that are wise around investment, around tax policy, about permitting. At the local level, very similar. Are we making it hard or easy for companies to locate and grow in our communities? Is the permit process streamlined? Are we making sure that we have the welcome mat out?
I would like to see local governments partner with the private sector to promote the sustainable community. And in partnering with the private sector, things that they can do include more standardized and more simplified licensing processes. We find that many of the cities around the county of Santa Clara have different licensing practices, and that becomes very difficult for businesses to deal with. It just adds a burden that's really unnecessary if we were able to cooperate as one unit. Local governments can also work with financial institutions and educational institutions to promote training programs to get the word out about the kinds of things that consumers and businesses can do to promote sustainability. And local governments can work with the private sector to get private sector members onto government boards to help them figure out how to deal with these problems.
When I've seen efforts that have been successful in this area, they've usually been led by a combination of industry, nonprofit organizations, and other groups that have a strong interest in making it happen that bring policymakers along. I think, for instance, about what San Jose has done in partnership with Oakland and San Francisco on plug-in technology and promoting plug-in infrastructure throughout the Bay Area. And really that was an industry-led initiative. And the mayors of the cities were happy to go along knowing that there was extraordinary benefit to companies, employers in their own cities, as well as to residents. I think if we're going to be able to do this well, it's really the patchwork of companies and nonprofit organizations that are going to be able to pull policymakers in and make us all understand how it's in our own self-interest, that is the interest of our own cities, to be joining in a regional effort.
Nonprofits like the Silicon Valley Leadership Group and the Bay Area Climate Collaborative are helping to drive collaboration.
The Bay Area Climate Collaborative was launched last year by mayors Gavin Newsom, Ron Dellums, and Chuck Reed, with leading business and civic leaders from throughout the region with 3 goals in mind. We want to accelerate the clean energy economy. Secondly, take action on climate and safeguard our resources. And third, really serve as a model for the nation. And through the collaborative, we're bringing expertise from all these different sectors to help drive action in the region. When the mayors came together, they signed the Bay Area Climate Compact, which established an ambitious 10-point action plan for the region, which includes action on green building, solar energy, energy efficiency, zero-emission vehicles, and more. And as part of that, we also brought together key business leaders from throughout the region to help make this vision a reality. And those business leaders include leaders in great companies like Webcor, which does tremendous work in green building, Serious Materials, which helps makes those buildings possible, Silver Spring Networks, which is creating key components of the smart grid, and numerous others who are advancing many of these solutions. And we're bringing these leaders together with local governments from throughout the region.
Finding the right partner is also key to long-term success.
Cities should consider the notion of partnering with a private company. Doing it all yourself as a city is very difficult, and you have enough work already. We've done over 40 different community programs with different cities. One of the most recent ones we've just recently done is with the city of Lancaster. With this city, we actually did a lot of customization. We created a custom product for their schools. We then also created a custom product for the local residents. We then worked with the local university to create a training program to create a green economy within Lancaster. So we've done a lot of work with them to help adopt solar in their community.
New state and federal climate initiatives are also pushing cities to collaborate on a regional level like never before.
You know, this is the very first time that cities have to work on a more regional basis than ever before. You know, it's said in the state constitution, you know, that these local governments really have 100% control over land use, and cities in the past haven't done very well in sort of coordinating with each other. And one reason why regional bodies are gaining the influence that they are is that it's really the only way to make these cities sort of, you know, talk and communicate with each other. When you think about sustainability issues, what one city does isn't going to have a big impact on the entire Bay Area as we attempt to lower our carbon footprint. There's, I think, 105 cities in the Bay Area, and they just don't often really talk to each other. But because of these state laws, it's the region that has to work together.
So as we look at sustainability in the Bay Area, the role of regional agencies has become more and more important. For instance, in the area of transit and transportation, we're now seeing through the Metropolitan Transportation Commission uniformity on being able to use a single clipper pass to enable transit riders to get on and off Samtrans, VTA buses, Muni, any other transit provider in a seamless way that enables us to be able to move easily throughout the Bay Area. That's critical toward boosting transit ridership.
We're talking more about at the regional level with, you know, one Bay Area, which is a whole different sort of concept. Rather than 105 different cities, we have to be one unit working together, and that means what one city wants to put in has to sort of be coordinated with what all the other cities are going to be put in, and that means some cities may not make the type of decisions that they've made before, and there might be political repercussions for those council members to do that, but it's the only way we're really going to meet these very aggressive goals that are being set by the Air Resources Board and with SB 375. So I'm really hoping that, you know, with the help of our private partners and with really, you know, very forward-thinking policymakers at the city and the county level, that we're going to do something here in the Bay Area that really hasn't been done before in the whole United States, and that we can really be leaders and show the way of how we can reduce our carbon footprint and finally really achieve what we call sustainable communities.
Our partnerships between the private sector and the innovation economy, between clean and green tech leaders, need to be with city councils, boards of supervisors, regional bodies of governance, the state legislature, and Congress. It's all levels of government. Why? Because we're all in this together.
We have the technologies that we need. We have the innovative financing tools. And now what we need to do is really come together and act. And we can really do that by bringing together leaders through the Bay Area Climate Collaborative or our other great partners like the Bay Area Council, Joint Venture, Solar Tech, and the other great organizations that are there to help move these solutions forward.
There's no region in this world that is better situated to take advantage of the green revolution than the Bay Area, both in terms of employment as well as all the progress we're making environmentally. We've got extraordinary opportunities here, and we should be banding together and pushing together now more than ever.